love that growl. Rah.
Welcome back to the Three Bears podcast. I'm Peyton. I'm here with my dad, Jason, and Parker, and my brother. We have a special guest here today to join us on this podcast episode, and his name is Cody Craven. And Cody, I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? My name's Cody. I am a youth pastor in Central Alabama. I'm originally from Florida. I'm here at New Home Baptist Church, where we are serving our community and trying to reach our community for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thanks for having me, guys. It's my honor to be here.
Man, we're glad to have you, Cody.
Yeah,
Welcome
absolutely.
To this mess.
Yeah, welcome to what we call the Three Bears podcast. As you saw before you clicked on this video, it was titled Legacy or Talent. But before we kind of get into this and discuss the things that we have for today, let's do a little bi-weekly check-in.
Okay.
So you guys have anything happen in the past 2 weeks? Anything that's going on, any ministry stuff?
Not me. We had our first summer workout today with the football team, which is really exciting. They are light years ahead of where we were at the end of summer last year. So where we started when I first began to where we are today, could be as much as 10 times as strong as we were to start the season last year. That's really big, and we're excited about that. So everything else
Awesome.
been really good.
Parker, what you been up to?
I'm initiating. I got this. I I did the Murph this past weekend, which is like the 1 mile run and that whole CrossFit workout thing in honor of Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who lost his life in the line of duty in service of our country. So I did that workout in honor of him. I'm still sore 3 days later, but it's okay. It was for a good cause. It's for the right reasons. Had a good time doing that, not during it because it was quite bad. It was quite horrible, just hurting. But other than that, it's been great. I'm the only one in the office. Everyone decided to take a vacation this week, so I've been holding down the fort. It's been great. It's been so much fun, just hanging out, doing work. That's it.
Good deal. What about
Nice.
you, Peyton?
So last week we had our senior Sunday, and then Thursday all the kids graduated. So our group of 15 high school graduates graduated, and we had 2 college graduates who finished. So big senior class who all left. And then also been really, really working on church camp stuff, getting our large group and getting forms in and money in and all these different things. But we had a fundraiser the other day for a bake sale, and it did really, really well.
Nice.
And pretty much just getting summer stuff planned and done and ready. We've had a lot of rain this week, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much all we've been up to.
Yeah.
What about you, Cody?
Let's see. I didn't do the Murph at all. Not even close to it. But let's see. Right now, we are actually planning for 2026,
Yep.
which in 2026 we're going to have a summer retreat, I believe. And your very own Peyton Abear is going to be speaking at our summer retreat, which is going to be awesome.
Can't wait.
This past Sunday, I had the opportunity to preach our morning service, which is always terrifying when the youth pastor gets to preach. And I learned that I hate suits
Yeah.
because I sweated so much on that stage. I mean, people were like, "We're going to get you a rag to preach with."
Oh,
And I'm
my.
like, I don't want to be that person. So basically, my Memorial Day weekend has opened my eyes to the fact I need to lose some weight so I don't sweat as much while I preach.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is
We're
a
Out there
going.
great
working.
thing. I think you and Peyton might be the only two that actually wear suits while you're at your churches, and or at
Yeah,
least
I
in the
wore a
pulpit.
sports coat on Easter.
Yeah,
I don't
There you
count.
had to dress
That's
up.
fancy.
I tucked in
Well,
my
going with that, kind of getting fit and all these different things. Whenever you think of fit people, you really think of athletes, and you think of those great performance people who have cemented their legacies and their talents into the history books. So the first question I had for you guys was: people argue about who the GOAT is, the greatest of all time, is what that means, based on their wins, their stats, moments that they've had. But there's one that people argue about all the time: is LeBron or Michael Jordan, or who is just the overall greatest athlete of all time.
Just
Now, I
curious,
don't want
you
to get
said
in.
LeBron
Uh,
first. Are you
no, no, no,
leaning that way? I
no.
mean,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not. But I don't want to debate into this. I just want you to state your case on who you believe, LeBron or Michael Jordan or the best athlete of all time. But then the second question is wherever we kind of get to debate and talk about each other and do a little draft. So
Yeah.
whoever wants to go first.
So we're kind of starting with LeBron or Jordan, correct? Is anybody in this group a LeBron GOAT person? Anybody? No. Peyton is either frozen or not giving either way up. Let's
There
see.
we
There we
There
go.
he
We're,
is.
we're all good
Guys.
now.
Okay. Are you a LeBron
No,
or Jordan guy?
I'm a Jordan guy.
Jordan.
Parker,
Jordan.
Jordan, Cody?
So if you keep hearing, then we're good. Whatever.
Yeah.
Here's Jordan. Here's the reasons I have. He winning percentage in the finals, not knocking LeBron for being there so many times. He just played longer. But the impact on the play style of the game, because everyone was like old school, we're gonna pass the ball around a lot. And then MJ comes in and is like yamming on kids. Globalization of the game. I mean, think about it. Before him, it's mainly just America playing, and then all of a sudden, you got the Serbians coming in, 6'9" and just sitting in the post. And nobody was doing what he was doing at the time. Now you have like SGA, the free throw merchant, Ant-Man, Steph Curry just putting up massive numbers.
Hey,
LeBron's doing this.
I will say I don't think Michael Jordan was yamming on people like you're talking about. Michael Jordan wasn't really like a dunker on people.
What?
Yeah.
But I am Jordan because you said percentage of wins in the finals. Michael Jordan went 6-0. 6-0 in all of his finals. Never ever once in his finals went to a game seven. And I believe, if I'm correct, I think LeBron is 4-6 in the finals. But also you have to go with longevity of how long he's played. 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 9 defensive first teams. So, and also he did all of this with no social media.
Yeah, for those of you that were not alive during that time, like I was in the 90s, Sports Center was kind of what all of us in high school watched. And it was during the basketball season, which you think about, you're playing, 80 some odd, 90 some odd games, including playoffs. And this guy is consistently performing every single night. He's
Yeah,
always the highlight. Like the lead during basketball season was always what Jordan did the night before. And that's what I think people don't really see when it comes to the Jordan LeBron debate. I have this debate with one of our football players like all year. I've had it with him. And it's amazing to me that while he's going on and on about LeBron being the greatest of all time, he's wearing Air Jordans. I mean, it's like, dude, I mean, you can't really make the LeBron the great when you're wearing the other guy's shoes. LeBron hasn't
right.
transcended everything like you guys are talking about Jordan has done. And Jordan has won an NBA defensive MVP, not just offensive MVPs. That's something LeBron has never done and probably never will do. I will give him this. He's played a long time and he's a great athlete, but I don't think he deserves the title of GOAT. I don't even think he deserves that title in what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And I'm sorry that
Hmm.
my Wi-Fi might be messing up if I'm still or not standing for a while. Y'all just keep
You're
going.
good now.
I'll catch up. But
Got to go to
yeah,
Best Buy, get you that new router.
I guess it is a new router. It's fairly new, but
So what
I
you
think
got, Cody? Oh, you
Uh,
not done?
well,
I'm good.
huh?
Go ahead, Cody. What you got?
Um, I'm not a basketball player, so when I saw this question, I was like, oh, this is going to be awful. So whoever's watching this, take this by a pure grain of salt. Like, I'm not a basketball player. I don't understand the rules. I go and watch basketball because my students play basketball. So that's right there. But um, I lean towards Jordan because most of the athletes that I see that played both, so they played MJ, they also played LeBron. Most of them, when you listen to them, they lean Jordan as well. And actually, the interesting thing is that most of them, maybe not most, probably half of them, they'll even say that the real struggle isn't between Jordan and LeBron at all. It's Jordan number one, and then you have a struggle for number two, which is between Kobe and LeBron, which
Yeah.
I think that's probably an even more interesting topic because I think there's always going to be this, just like Jason said, Jordan transcends sports. I mean, he's in clothing, he's in shoes, he's in everywhere. I just think it's hard to beat him out as GOAT. But I think the conversation between LeBron and Kobe would be a more interesting one.
I
Another
agree.
thing too, I'll throw this out there too. When you think of greatest of all times, one of the greatest of all time teams that to consider is the '92 Dream Team. And in that, where you have Magic and Larry Bird and Barkley and Shaq and all these guys. I don't know if Shaq was on that squad or not. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Jordan even excelled in that group of amazing athletes, and I think that team. I mean, they were destroying. Once again, that's 1992. None of y'all were around during that time or paying much attention, but I tell you, it was incredible to behold those guys on the court and seeing Jordan just kind of take over that and excel in that. So I think it's to me it's a no-brainer that it's
Yeah,
Jordan. But there are others on the other side who might give us a good argument back. But
it's true.
since we're all in favor, I mean, I don't
Yeah, I
see
think.
you see it any other way, personally.
Yeah. So with that, this is kind of the second question going into this is I had all of these guys compile a list of athletes to give you guys their Mount Rushmore or top four athletes across all sports of all time. But here's the twist is if I was to say a name that say Cody had, Cody can no longer use that name. So it is pretty much a draft of your top four athletes of all time. And we'll go in age order. So I'll have Dad go, Cody, Parker, and then I'll go last. I'll get two. We'll do it like a snake. So
Okay, so are all of us picking four or just one Mount Rushmore? Just so I'm clear.
all
Four Mount
four. We are
Rushmores.
all picking four different.
We're all picking four different ones. Well, okay.
Correct.
Then I'm going to go ahead and take the easy one and put Jordan up there. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
thanks for being the
Mark
oldest
him
in the
off.
group.
Pretty
So
simple. Yeah.
I'll mark Jordan
All
off
right.
the list.
Cody, that'll have you next.
All right. So mine, I went like individual attributes. So I'm going to start off with speed, and I'm going to go Usain Bolt, the
Ooh,
greatest
Golly.
sprinter of all time,
yeah.
8-time Olympic gold medalist, and the world record holder for the 100-meter, 200-meter, and the 4x100-meter relay.
Yeah.
But he has been close to being beat, though.
That's a good pick, though.
He might be
Yes.
close
He
to
was
being
dominant.
beat.
People were afraid to go against him.
I think a YouTuber might, if he trains hard enough, might be. I show speed might be.
Speed is not beat that dude in a race. Parker, you're
All
up.
right,
Did you see
I'm up next. I'm getting this
Yeah.
one off the board since we're going ahead and start taking Olympians. I'm taking Michael Phelps,
Oh, yeah.
dominant
So-
athlete.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Taking
Okay. I don't understand. I don't know how this dude's still on the board. So I get two picks since I'm a snake. And I'm going to go Tom Brady for
Yep.
football.
not even in my
And
top
I don't.
10, bro.
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't even in
Go
my
for
top
it.
10.
I mean, have him.
And number two, my second pick, I'm going to go with the man, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Bo
good
the
one.
Backbreaker Jackson.
I actually
I
had
mean-
that card at one time. Wish I could find it.
We still have it. I mean, the only dude who's, if you think of a two-sport athlete, he's the best in both of those. So we'll go next to Parker. You're up.
All right, going with another Olympian, Messi. Different type of Olympian, team sport athlete. There's the debate between him and Ronaldo, but Messi, once again.
Yeah, I would argue there's even one soccer player better than both of those two you mentioned.
I would argue that as well.
So yeah, I would
I'm
definitely
about to
argue.
say Ronaldinho.
No,
Or
you
Pele.
You already
Pele.
mentioned
Peyton Haber, bro.
Pele, of course.
Definitely
Pele
not me.
kicked a backwards goal back against what team?
Pineville High School.
Yeah, what team was that in high school?
Pineville.
Oh yeah, it was great. That was awesome.
Cody,
30
you're up.
minutes
Oh,
away.
you're up.
All right, where to go next?
Wait, did you
You know
pick
what? I'm going
two?
to go for my guy. This one's not going to make any sense probably to any of y'all. That's okay. I'm going to go with strength. I'm going to go Brian Shaw, four-time world's strongest man.
Wow.
When he was competing, he was 6'8", weighed in at 430 pounds. He holds the world records in the keg toss, where he launched a 33-pound keg 25 foot in the air, and he lifted 441-pound log above his head for 2 reps. I couldn't even deadlift 400 pounds in high school. I can't imagine it going above your head. So,
Wow.
Brian
Wow.
Shaw,
That
second
that is, that
pick.
is an out of left field pick, but it's a pretty good one. That's solid. So
Yeah.
do I pick two this time?
You pick two now, Dad.
Is on the back going back around the snake? Okay. Just
Yep.
back around. Okay, well then I am going to go with um a guy that like MJ also wore the red, especially on Sunday. I'm gonna go one Eldrick
Tiger
Tiger
Woods.
Woods. Yes, sir. Guy
He
transformed golf, especially if he
here's
was
my number four.
Sunday. Yeah, Tiger is up there. And I've got a surprise pick. I think you guys might be very, very shocked by my third GOAT,
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams.
No.
Okay.
Dang.
Ooh, that was close.
23 Grand Slam singles titles, which is an open era record.
I figured that was
She
coming.
had a 2 decade career, won singles and doubles. She's also an Olympian as well. So yeah, I'm picking Serena and leaving Venus behind. So that's what I'm thinking.
All
Yeah.
right, Cody, you're back up.
All right, I got to do it now because y'all are going Olympians. I'm going to get the one, the only Simone Biles,
Ooh, good pick.
11-time Olympic gold
Yeah.
medalist, 30-time world championship medals, and she is the most decorated gymnast to ever live.
Hmm.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm
There's
up.
one I'm shocked he's still on there. You're up, Parker.
I'm gonna go Roger Federer.
Just
Ooh.
going
He's
to the
just
world of
crazy.
tennis once again.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think outside the box, which everyone else was.
Okay. So I have two now. And
This will finish
this
your
one, I don't
five.
know. This would finish mine. So I currently have Tom Brady and Bo Jackson. So I'm going to go with the great one, if you know him by that nickname,
Oh, there we go.
Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky, yeah. Hitting the ice. I like it.
And some people may say, well, Ovechkin's better than him. I disagree. Anyways, the goals really don't matter. And second one, this is a personal thing. I'm a UFC fan. It's probably my favorite sport to
Wait a minute.
watch.
Oh,
Why,
gee.
why, why are you picking two?
Favorite
Hold up, hold up. Do you already have
He's
because
four?
the bottom
it
of the
goes back.
snake.
It goes back.
But you already have four, correct?
No, I
No,
have
he
three.
has,
Tom
Okay.
Brady, Bo Jackson, Wayne.
I swear.
So I went back and forth between this of who to pick between John Jones and Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Who's you
UFC.
but
got?
if I was to put them both into a cage, John Jones is beating Khabib any day of the week. He's the baddest man on the planet, the youngest UFC champ of all time, 11 title defenses. And probably, like everybody said, if 100 men versus a gorilla, just do one John Jones versus a gorilla. So give me John Jones to finish my Mount Rushmore.
That's such trash. I literally
Well,
have four people, and he picked one of them.
I'm not intimidated by any of your Mount Rushmores. I'm going with another racer, not Verstappen or Senna or Hamilton or Schumacher. I'm going Dale Earnhardt, the best on a circle.
Oh,
Okay.
You
he
going
he was
senior or
he was in
junior?
my short list.
Senior,
Yeah. Oh, senior.
I was
Yeah.
about
the
to
He's
say
the
Intimidator.
intimidator, man.
you have to be very specific.
The
Yeah.
Intimidator, man. He was up there. That's a good one. He was in my
That's
list.
good.
Um, yeah.
Oh,
But when you think about race car drivers, not trying to give anybody one away, if we're talking about guys that were always on the news, always on sports, back when they were winning on Sunday, Jeff Gordon's up there too, man. And everybody hates that dude, but he was winning constantly. He sure
the
was.
Rainbow
All right.
Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors, that's right.
Here we
Okay.
go. Cody,
All
to
right, Cody,
finish
last one,
yours.
huh?
You have Usain Bolt, Brian Shaw, and Simone Biles. Who completes your Mount Rushmore?
Oh man, I'm gonna take Khabib. Finish it off. I had John Jones or Khabib. I was doing the same argument in
He's
my
29
head.
and 0. Khabib is
29
29
and
and 0.
0.
29-0, beat Connor. I mean, just demolish Connor.
The only dude, I believe, who's never been knocked down.
Yeah, yeah. He is
That's
an
crazy.
absolute beast. I'll go Khabib.
Yeah.
Also, the same dude who trains like three current UFC champions.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
Well,
Dad, you finish
absolutely.
yours.
is this the last one?
You have Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Serena.
Yeah. And
No, I had
I think
Serena.
I'm gonna knock y'all all out when it comes to fighters. I'm gonna float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali,
Ali.
baby. Yes, sir. Ali.
John Jones. John Jones is smacking Muhammad Ali. I'm
Lunch.
sorry.
Eats his lunch.
Different
John
sport,
Jones is
boys.
destroying
Different
him.
sports. Different sports. Doesn't
It is
matter.
different sport.
Dude,
We're talking
give
about
me,
GOATs,
listen,
greatest of all time.
give me Kimbo Slice to knock out Muhammad Ali.
I don't know if you could in the day, man.
I ain't saying that one.
The best street fighter of all time. So look, there's ours, and I'm gonna put a picture in this of the ones that we picked. But here's some names that out of my list that nobody picked. Pele.
Yeah,
Nobody
we
had
talked
Pele.
about him.
He's one of
We,
the
we, we
greatest.
talked about him a little bit.
Um,
And
we didn't.
nobody picked
Nobody went
Ronaldo either.
baseball. Nobody went baseball.
And I
Babe
thought about
Ruth.
baseball. I thought about it a lot because they have a longer
Babe Ruth.
season than any other sport.
Yep.
Um, but as far as I had Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, um,
Showstoppers.
I had Mike Maddox back in the day when he was pitching for the Braves. Dude was an animal. The catcher
Yep.
didn't even call pitches. He called his own pitches. And
Right.
Nolan Ryan. I mean, there's some great guys, but you think how often they take off between rotations.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said Babe Ruth. I
Babe
mean,
Ruth, one of the
he's
best
got,
pitchers, 714 home runs.
he's got a he's
Um,
got a candy bar named after him, man. I mean, come on.
yeah.
I don't
I
know if he's
mean,
really
also two other names that they're really okay, but I mean, Jim Brown,
yeah,
great football player,
yeah.
Jim
and
Brown was one of my.
you know, regardless of social media and current status now, Deion Sanders was I'd say probably the second best two sport athlete. He played an MLB game and NFL on the same day.
Hmm.
So those are those are huge. So going with all of these, those are our you know athlete Mount Rushmores. We'll just go person by person, and you give four people for your Bible character Mount Rushmore. You don't have to give a big explanation. Just who
Okay.
would you put as your favorite top four Bible characters besides Jesus? Jesus does not count. He does
Jesus.
count.
Yeah.
You understand what I meant?
Yeah. So we're gonna do let's start youngest to oldest and do the snake thing again. You're picking four, doing the
Well,
same
no,
thing.
just name all four in
Oh,
one.
just name all four?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not worried about copying if somebody has the same one.
Okay.
My four that I had wrote down, I had Jeremiah. I love reading through the book of Jeremiah. He's what he called the weeping prophet. John the Baptist, forerunner for Christ, very outcast to society, very different.
Yeah.
I've been reading through Joseph, and I love Joseph, betrayed by his brothers. I've been there. I'm just joking. He rose to power. Um, and then I had the last one, and apparently this is not in you guys. We talked about it earlier, but I had the Paul, the persecutor who turned church planner. I think he's definitely one of the top four. So those are my four.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Parker, you'd be up next.
I'm up next. Paul, I think, is going to be on the majority of our list. Moses, just really cool. His life is segmented into 40 years. I think it's not like a planned thing, but it is cool to look at. Liberator of a nation. Obviously, just a real cool dude. Cool dude, influential guy, leader of nations. Anyways, there's a whole lot of stuff we can put on
Wrote a
Moses.
book, How to
Uh,
Influence Others and Win People.
yeah, absolutely. That's yeah. Anyways, Abraham,
Had many
father of a
sons.
nation,
Yeah.
and then Jacob. I mean, the old dude who's out here fighting angels. Just a cool guy. Just. I'm
You
not
said
doing
cool
it.
guy for you said cool guy for the best three dudes.
They're all cool dudes. They all love Jesus. They my homies. Yeah, I love Jesus too. How about you?
Cody, Cody, Cody.
Uh, let's go four. All right. I'm going to start off with Peter, one of the most relatable people in
Yeah.
Scripture. I think we can all say, I think every single person says, yeah, I relate to Peter. I mean, dude preached on the day of Pentecost. He went to Cornelius the centurion, which ushered in the gospel to the Gentiles, which I believe all of us are thankful for. So he was the apostle of the circumcision or the Jewish people. Um, Next, I have Joshua, the guy
Mhm.
after the guy. We've all been there. You're coming in, you're the guy afterwards. You got to take up the mantle. And imagine the first job that you're told to do is walk around a city 7 times. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. But he leads the children of Israel into the promised land after the wilderness. Uh, Thirdly, I have Paul as well. A life completely transformed from destroying the church to being the most influential person in the early church, one of the most influential people in the early church. Has most of the books in our New Testament are authored by him.
Mhm.
And he's considered the apostle to the Gentiles, which I think, again, we are all very blessed by. Then finally, I got to agree with Parker. Oh, Abraham, Father Abraham. Sometimes when you read in Genesis the story of Abraham, you just want to scream at him and say, stop doing half truths about your wife.
Right.
But God took this man and he ushered in the concept of a covenant, and God would provide this beautiful picture through Abraham and Isaac of the sacrifice that he was going to bring through Christ. So I think it's a awesome, awesome dude. So those are my four.
Okay, great. All awesome. I can't agree more with what you guys have said. I'm gonna give four different options. That I have a pretty long list here, but I'm gonna give four different options that y'all have not mentioned yet. Not to say that those aren't the greatest of all times, but I'm gonna go with first of all David. David,
Mm,
I mean, he is the king that all the other kings were compared to. If that doesn't say greatest of all time, I don't know what does. So David is certainly one, wrote so many of the Psalms, the focus of so much of the Old Testament. Um, David is definitely one. Man, John, think about John, the Apostle John. Last living apostle, died of an old age. He saw all of his other brothers die martyrdom deaths, um, and was faithful to the end. Even in his old age in exile, the Bible says he was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, which is just a beautiful
mhm.
picture of his faithfulness through it all. And I'm gonna go with two folks who ministered during the exile. One would be Daniel. There's even an old saying, dare to be a Daniel, staring down lions, praying out of his window when everybody says don't pray anymore. Certainly was inspirational to the three Hebrew children, so they were able to stand and go into the fiery furnace. So Daniel, so I have David, John, and Daniel, and this is going to be a surprise pick, I think. I'm going to throw out Esther.
Ah, it's on my
Esther has an
list.
entire book named after her, and the Bible says that she was in the position she was in for such a time as this. And had she not been faithful, that time would have gone by the wayside, and the entire nation would have been wiped out. So I think those are four really big people that we can look to and find inspiration and courage and growth in our spiritual lives. So those are my four that I've got.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And I think those are great for all four of us all around. Just different people from different perspectives, and we can find personalities of all of us
Hmm.
in various different peoples of the Bible, and that's why we relate to them so much and like them. But here's the last question, and you kind of answer how you feel led to answer. The last one was, to you, what matters most? Is it legacy or is it talent? You don't have to answer this into like a big sports thing. You could just also relate it to, church or Bible or anything else how you want to. What matters most, do you think, legacy or talent?
Uh,
Anybody want to go first?
Talent as in what way?
Skill.
Like your personal skill?
Yeah.
Well, I think, as skillful, this is just like me personally, as skillful as I am in music, I'm not using a lot of my skills in my day-to-day job. So, as much as I know about Italian augmented whatever XYZ chords in a book that I don't use anymore, the skill that I have doesn't really matter in the context of what I'm doing. So I think what I leave behind is going to be what you're remembered for, not that, oh, he can really put together a great mashup of songs, or oh, he really knows how to craft a set list, like he's good at that. Like it's going to be the impact that you left on people. So I think it's
Right.
legacy of what you do whenever you leave a place. That's what's really going to matter to the people in the long run.
Hmm.
I think, and I don't want to. I think it has to be skill because without skill, there probably would be no legacy.
Mm.
Skill helps to build the legacy. And, if people remember Jesus when I'm gone and they don't remember me, then I've succeeded in creating the legacy that we want to see others. John John the Baptist, and I think somebody mentioned him in their greatest of all time list or Mount Rushmore or whatever. Man, he said it best in John 3, I must decrease so that he might increase. And if all you do with your skill is build your name, that's not the legacy we should be looking to leave. Um, if you can pass on a legacy of people who love Jesus more, then that's where that's going to happen. But I think skill has a lot to do with that, and that is skill and, like Parker said, skill with, um, talent with music, or skill with parenting, or skill with preaching slash pastoring slash teaching slash leading. I mean, there's a lot of different skills and talents that God blesses. But at the end of the day, if we don't use our skill for the kingdom, we're using our talents and skills for the wrong reason. And so I think good skill leads to great legacy. So that's my take on that question.
Well,
So
I
What you think,
answered
Cody?
wrong.
no, you didn't.
There's really not a wrong answer.
Oh, there is a wrong
Um,
answer. I'm sure there is. There's
and
definitely a
I'm
wrong
about
answer.
to say it, you know what I mean? Uh, no, so when I was looking at this question, first thing that popped in my mind was First Corinthians chapter 2, where Paul, he's talking about how he went to the church of Corinth, and he said he didn't come in the superiority of speech or wisdom, declaring to you the testimony of God, for I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ, him crucified. Verse 3, I was with you in weakness and fear and much trembling. My speech and my preaching were not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in the demonstration of the Spirit of power, so that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God.
Mhm.
Um, I think skill's important, but I think most of us would agree it is that legacy at the end of the day. It is what did you use that skill for? But sometimes I think we can put a very large weight on skill, and we can forget how God he can take someone who may not be skillful. I mean, he took Gideon, who was a complete coward, and made him the leader of the Israelites in that period of Judges. Um, so yes, skill's important. You should want to grow your skill. You should want to work out your skill. You should want to and so for example, with Parker, he practices music. He wants to get better at music. He wants to do these things. That should be what we want to do with our skills. But I think at the end of the day, leaning upon the Holy Spirit and making sure you're doing what God wants you to do, God will provide the power that you need in that. Um, and unfortunately, I think churches, we put almost too much emphasis on skill, and we leave out good men and women who are truly called by God to do amazing things.
Well, I mean, so my answer is legacy as well. I look at whenever I've been studying through the life of Joseph, is God gives these visions to Joseph, and he understands. He doesn't understand the fullness, the context of it. It's very similar to our lives where God gives us things, but without the resources for it. Where He's going to see you through this whole thing. And I've been using this verse over and over and over about, Acts 4:13. It's one of the verses we use for Hunter and Lexi a lot. But whenever you look at the context of it, with Peter and John standing before the Sanhedrin,
Mm-hmm.
and they call them unlearned and ignorant men. Well, you think of all the people that Jesus used, a lot of them were fishermen, and they were unlearned and they were ignorant men. But at the end of it says they acknowledged them that they had been with Jesus.
Right.
And mom and dad have told us this all the time, and dad's preached on it, and I've heard him say it a lot, that at the end of our life, what are we going to be remembered for? If the doors of our churches were to close, if the congregations that we preach to were to leave, and the youth groups that we preach to leave and walk out of the doors, what's going to be remembered for there? Is it going to be how well of a preacher you were? Is it going to be how well the music was? Or is it going to be that souls and lives were changed for eternity?
Mm-hmm.
And that this church or this community had done such a great thing for Christ and for the progression of the gospel. So I definitely think legacy is huge, but whenever you're trying to live your life and you're trying to establish a legacy, realize that along with that, God will equip you with the talent and skill that you need to leave a legacy if you're willing to accept it. And I think that people really need to understand that God will give you the resources if you're willing to seek them as well.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. That's good.
but I mean, I took this also a different perspective than what I just told you. But I think about legacy wins in this conversation in an athletic sphere because talent gets highlights and you get the mixtapes and you get all these different things, but a legacy gets you Hall of Fame and status, and we're still talking about Michael Jordan and those people still today. Brady ran a 5.28. That dude was not talented whenever it comes to how fast he was, but he's got 7 rings and he left a legacy. He had an impact.
Right.
So, any closing remarks before I close this off?
No, man, Cody, it's been good having you today, bud. We're glad you came on, and hope you enjoy it, and hope we kind of pull some of that Alabama crowd as a result of you being on the show with us. Special guest star, Cody Craven.
We'll
Special
see about that
guest.
one, but thanks for having me.
Parker, you got anything?
No, our maintenance man walked in. I was talking with him. He's about to leave for the day, but legacy always wins. It's what you leave. I took it as like what you leave behind is what people are going to actually remember you for, and I didn't include the spiritual stuff. Y'all got it. Y'all touched on it. Y'all are the preachers. I just do the music.
Well, in closing, it's been so great to have Cody. Go check out their social medias at New Home and all that they're doing in Alabama. He's doing a great work there with his youth and their church. So go check them out. But the last question I want to leave you guys with, and something for you to ponder and think about, that at the end of your life, if your life was a highlight reel for Jesus or for Christ, would it point people to Jesus at all? Would it have anything that you've done for Christ in there? So really want to leave you guys with that as a challenge to always continue just to progress the gospel and be a shining light in the community, because this world needs it, and we need more people who are willing to be that shining light for Christ. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the Three Bears podcast. We hope you guys enjoy. Share this with a friend and send it to somebody, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds good. Love you guys. Bye.